What the fuck are you guys doing in chat? Anyways. Hello, beautiful people. What's wrong with all of you? Hello! Chat, how do you do? Now you might be thinking, wow, Zajef, what is that you're wearing? Is that a dress shirt? I can't remember the last time you wore a dress shirt. And yeah, actually, it is a dress shirt. I hadn't been able to wear any of my dress shirts for a while because I put on too much weight and they didn't fit anymore. But now they do.
All right, let's finish this fast.
Here comes another.
That was great.
This was new.
Feels good, man. Oops. What the heck? I think I have to... Dude, ain't no fucking way. Okay, whatever. Odd girl winter, here we go. True! No, but it feels so nice to actually be able to wear my fucking clothes again.
Dreamwork. Oh, so sorry. Even better than I imagined. It's my lucky day. All right.
I'm guessing you gotta light these up in order. That's 4, 3, 3, 2. Well, that's fucked. What do you mean 4, 3, 3, 2? That's... There's no 1. Is there a hidden 1 somewhere? Couldn't hit both. Oh, okay, I guess. That seems anticlimactic, but okay.
All right. An impressive bounty.
Ceaseless clash. 5 reps of an arm exercise. Ugh. I hate you. Ugh. Ugh. Fucking hell. Alright, I've turned on my fan. Oh! Alright. Insane. Chat! Have you watched Arcane Season 2, Batch 1? There's a lot of no's.
What could the children
I want to give a quick spoiler alert, because I'm going to be yapping about Arcane for a little bit. So if you don't want to get spoiled, if you're planning on watching it but you haven't watched it yet, this is your cue to, tune out of the stream for a few minutes. But for now, let's talk about Arcane, okay? What did you guys think about Batch 1 so far? Personally, I was a little bit disappointed. I didn't think it lived up to last season. Why? I think the main... I mean, I tweeted about it, so you may already know this if you follow me on Twitter, but the main, things that I didn't like is... everything feels a bit too on the nose. Or not everything, but there's too many things that feel a bit too on the nose. Like... when Mel's advisor, or whatever the heck she is, disappears because of the Black Rose, why the fuck does she have fucking the Hearthstone effect death rattle say the Black Rose? Amara? No, not Amara. That's the leader of the Merchant Guild. I'm talking about the person who, like when Mel gets attacked by the Black Rose, she's with her advisor. And the advisor is the one that disappears first. And she fucking yaps the Black Rose as she's about to disappear. But we've already seen a Black Rose 7 times. And maybe part of the reason I don't like it is because I already know what the Black Rose is. And so the first time I saw a Black Rose, I was like, oh shit. LeBlanc's in Season 2? Insane. Poggers. But I don't know. It felt too on the nose when she fucking yapped the Black Rose. The second thing I didn't like was how fucking obvious it was that the attack on the memorial was orchestrated by Mbessa. It was way too fucking obvious. Literally, I saw the spear come into the fucking, Chemtech guy's head. And the first thing I thought was, oh, Mbessa's here. Oh, it's Mbessa's thing. It was so obvious. So fucking obvious. And I didn't like that at all. And I guess the third aspect that I didn't talk about on my Twitter post, but that kinda is starting to bother me as I think about it more. Why are we getting teasers at the end of episode 1 that aren't leading into anything until episode 4? when they're releasing it in batches and we don't get episode 4 for a while. Like, just put the fucking Warwick teaser at the end of episode 3. And we got a Warwick teaser at the end of season 1, too. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I get it. It's supposed to be League of Legends player fan service. Look, that's Yo! I know this wolf! That's Warwick! Whoa! Singe! But, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Personally, I thought it was... I feel like it's kind of fucking the pacing a little. But that's pretty much it for things I didn't like. There's a lot of things I did like. I think my favorite thing was the fight between Jinx and Vi at the end of episode 3. It felt like everything just fell into place so well. Jinx's, I guess, what's the word? Not resolution, but like acceptance, I guess? Resignation? I don't know. The way that Jinx is like ready to accept Vi killing her recontextualizes the graffiti that she put everywhere in the place where they're fighting. Like, she was planning to die. This was supposed to be her fucking tomb. And that's why she decorated it with images of her family. Vander holding Vi and Powder in his arms. Vi protecting Powder. Like, she really did plan to die. But then when, I think her name is Isha or something? I don't think they ever actually say her name, but the subtitles call her Isha. The little girl. When she fucking, like, jumps and, like, grabs onto Jinx. And Vi sees that. It forces her to reconsider her image of Jinx. Right? She'd managed to convince herself that Powder was gone. That Jinx was the only thing that was left. That her sister was dead. But seeing the little girl grab onto Jinx for dear life and try to protect her with her body like that forces her to confront the fact that her sister's still there. She still exists. And it makes her feel so conflicted. And so when Kate is about to shoot her, she stops her. And that lets Jinx see that her sister isn't gone either. Her sister that protected her while she was young is still protecting her now. And I like that a lot. It was so good. I didn't like how Kate just turned into the Punisher. I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense. Kate is the top side. She's a fucking rich white girl who was raised by cops like, full-on fucking...
Staring into my eyes is ill-advised. I can't promise you'll like it.
And then on top of that, she's consumed by the rage and the desire for revenge and the grief that came from Jinx killing her mom. The prejudice against Zahn that was instilled into her, but that she still kind of didn't really believe in that much, that she somewhat rebelled against in season 1, was entirely reinforced by her
You wish to report? Go on. You have
deciding not to take the shot, her letting Jinx live, and her mother dying because of that. In her point of view, her mother's death is the fault of her own lack of resolve. And so I think it makes a lot of sense for her to steal her nerves, or to steal herself, and to actually resolve to do the things that she wouldn't have done before.
What could the children be up to? Never mind. Let them do
So
it.
Victor was the go to the show so far? I don't think so. Victor barely had any scenes in season 2. We'll probably see a lot more focus on Victor in batches 2 and 3. He's supposed to know that buff dude that drinks with Vi outside? No. I think he's supposed to represent the
Staring into my eyes is
desperate
ill-advised.
struggle for
Like what you see.
righteousness and identity that arises from the slums of Zaun. I think that's why when everyone starts fucking glazing Caitlyn and celebrating the martial law at the end, he's shown, like, turning his back on it and, like, heading back to Zaun. I think his character was done relatively well, even if it was a minor role. I think it was used for the right things.
Something
Brom true.
You have my undivided attention.
Victor leaving Jace so quickly was kind of weird to me, a bit too fast, and Jace just let him go. I mean, I think it makes sense. The reason why Victor left so quickly is to show us that Victor wasn't fully human anymore. He outright says that the physical sensation of cold isn't something that he feels anymore. He feels a certain discomfort, but cold isn't its name. That outright tells us that physically he's not really human anymore. And his fucking 180 in terms of his personality tells us that psychologically he's not human anymore either. I guess it was more Jace's reaction that I didn't like. The thing is, like, Jace knew Victor would be mad at him. Yes, it was to save his life, but he betrayed Victor's trust. And so that guilt is playing a pretty big role into why he doesn't chase after him, like, instantly. If you were to tell me he lets him go and then never looks for him again, then yeah, that would be weird. But I mean, we don't know that yet. Victor just left. Even then, Jason kind of left Victor even before then. I mean, not really. Blood fucking slept in his office every single day just because he didn't want to leave Victor alone. He definitely did not leave. He betrayed his trust, sure, but he did not leave him. Anyways, chat, I need your opinion on this. Who do you think is the better character in Arcane Season 2 between Mbessa and Heimerdinger? Because I'm torn. I don't know. Okay? I don't know.
Staring into my eyes is ill-advised.
Dude, Heimerdinger is so funny, man. He's actually so funny. I can't believe, like, if it wasn't for Arcane, in my mind, Heimerdinger would have been a fucking nerd. Like, the image of a smart guy in the eyes of a fucking League of Legends player. Like, ugh. But, like, Heimerdinger in Arcane is just so funny, man. Speaking of Heimerdinger, dude, I saw a Twitter interaction that made me fucking cackle. Okay, so we need some context for it. So here's the context. Okay. The context is this guy who's like I don't know exactly who he is, but somewhat involved in the League of Legends competitive scene, and anyways, tweeted, Arcane was already an Israel-Palestine allegory, and Season 2 is a direct heightening of that. Releasing right now when the issue is the most culturally heightened it's ever been is going to create some interesting discourse. Just finished episode 1, could not have been more correct about this. If you followed IDF/Netanyahu/Hamas comms in the last year, you can actually see when the show basically quotes them. So before we address the quote retweet, I'm going to give my thoughts on that. I don't think that's an unreasonable interpretation, but oppressed cultural class rebelling against the oppression of a different cultural class is not something that is unique to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It's a dynamic that has been prevalent throughout history in many conflicts. It is quite unlikely that it started as an Israeli-Palestinian allegory. However, I do think that the Israeli-Palestinian conflict has impacted some of the writing decisions in Season 2. Conflict, yeah, I know calling it conflict is not necessary, but like, you know what I mean. I do think that the parallels between Jinx's attack and the October 7th attack on Israel's soil probably impacted some of the writing decisions for the aftermath of that attack in Season 2. And I think that not necessarily references, but like connections to it are likely somewhat intentional. Anyways, then Don Jake, who is a funny guy, he is League of Legends content creator who mostly does player interviews of pro players. retweeted this. Are you enjoying the new season of Arcane? Arcane is quoting IDF and Hamas comms is so funny to me. And it made the other guy angry because he thought he was getting ridiculed, which, like, to some extent is kind of fair, but anyways, it led to probably the funniest tweet I have ever seen. Okay, that was the context. Now I need to show you guys the funniest tweet I have ever seen. Trigger warning, League of Legends geopolitics. Just the first fucking line made me lose it, okay? Currently late for dinner with family. Apologies, father. I have to clarify what my opinion is on the allegorical similarities between the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and a League of Legends Netflix show. Yes, that is a real sentence I have just typed. So, does Arcane have similarities in its themes and story to the current Israeli-Palestine conflict? Yes. So what is the joke with Arsha's post? On a serious level, I think Arsha is missing the wider context that the tools of pervasive power structure bear similarities across all states of apartheid or oppression of a class of people. He's not wrong to suggest that it's on the precipice of the news cycle currently.
Staring into my eyes is
But to then take that and to be assured in his analysis of the show is what strikes me as a pursuit for fool's gold. I personally think that the implication that there is overt intention of comparison is funny, given how politically apathetic Riot is. I found the musings that they had taken inspiration from Hamas/IDF comms for the show to be ostensibly satirical in a way that I don't think needs explanation. I'm writing this because the tweet is open to interpretation. If you dislike him, then you can have your own reason. My criticism is that I would argue that Arcane inadvertently echoes real-world power dynamics, not because Riot Games intended to make a political statement about self-prescribed American guilt at the stealing of Iraqi oil, Shimmer, but because narratives naturally reveal these recurring patterns of societal control, subjugation, and resistance. This makes any perceived allegory less about intentional commentary and more about how systemic inequalities are universally recognizable, essentially making them visible through any story that critiques hierarchies and injustice. Then, obviously, there's the attacking anyone and everyone who calls him stupid for having a lack of media literacy. It came across as a very milquetoast and I am 14 as this is deep. Basically, this post is outing me as a massive leftist. I'm super pro-Palestine and a big fat Foucault guy. I'm even a bit partial to a bit of Kit Kat nightclub just like he was. I don't want my tweet to get caught up in any right-wing dog whistling akin to why do they have to make everything political, bro, just let me enjoy my media. So I'm clarifying here. Art is always political. I just think the original post is funny with its scope and framing. Thank you. This is and this is the part of the tweet that finished me off, okay? The attached image is a Photoshop my friend made of Heimerdinger as Netanyahu. Dude, I fucking can't, man. I can't. Anyways, here is my official show of gratitude. Thank you, Don Jake, for giving me the best laugh I've ever had yesterday at 11 p.m. Oh. Okay. Oh my god, we're capped. Wait, fuck. Is today Chaska Day? Wait, I don't need Chaska Day anymore. Because I'm gonna 110.9 and I already have enough. I have enough of these for now as well. Especially because I'm gonna do a bunch more exploration, so I might as well do this. Or on Mats. I'm gonna 119 him and I already have enough for that as well. Will Chaska be useless without Farina? I don't have her. Are there any other options for her teams than Vape. There's not really other good options, unfortunately. Chaska is pretty reliant on Farina. She can work without her, but it's gonna be a lot worse. Brought up earlier, how do you like the editing with the music and these special scenes with different art styles? Some of them I liked a lot, some of them I didn't like too much. My favorite one was the first one. Where like Caitlyn and Vi, and I don't know if there were any other characters, are shown in colors, and everything around else is in like black and white, like kind of looks like a sketch. Oh, actually, you know what? Okay, I've seen people say that fucking what's her name, Maddie, the fucking like orange hair little girl police cop thingy enforcer. I've seen people like say that they like her. Buddy, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you okay? She is so easily manipulated. I wonder if that's actually true. There's two possibilities, right? Two possibilities. One, she is easily manipulated, and she's probably gonna fucking die. Which, good. Deserved. Two, she's pretending. But anyways, let's take a break from spoilers so that people who haven't watched the show can still enjoy the stream. Agreed? Agreed. What do I want to play today, chat? What would be fun to play? After a nearby party member triggers Night Soul Burst, which, as a quick reminder, just means after a character hits an enemy with Night Soul aligned damage. So you said, does that... Yeah, let me...
Evil shall be.
Alright, the first time chatter said, watch your own video, and I was wondering what you said about 213, because I thought Night Soul Burst gets triggered by dealing elemental damage, plus having an Outland character on the team.
Another chance.
I was like, Ino's animation is kind of cringe. There's no nothing here. It's on cooldown? It was on cooldown, really? Am I an idiot? Oh shit, I am an idiot. My bad. Well, it doesn't really matter.
All right.
I guess I should correct it, though. My bad. Thank you. Thank you, first-time chatter.
Benny's Adventure Team, assemble! Or not. No one's joined me on an adventure in ages. Come on, let's go. Benny's Adventure Team, assemble!
Alright. Okay-ish business.
Or not.
Hmm. Hi, Mr. Zajef. What's your opinion on Dun Dun Dun? Saw a tweet recently about it. Sorry if you talked about it before. I don't mind talking about it again. Dun 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 is great. It probably has the best anime opening of all time. First. Which is like already fucking amazing praise, but it's far from where the praise ends. Um It's a show that does humor well. It's a show that's not like mainly a comedy. Like it has comedic elements, but it's not centered around its comedy. The comedy is a tool to help tell the story rather than the story being a tool to help the comedy along, right? Like when you watch something like Psyche K, the story is kind of secondary, right? It's all about the comedy. But with Dandadan, the comedy is a tool that helps oil the gears of the story. It makes everything flow so much better. It helps make the interactions between the characters feel a lot more natural. The dynamic between Okarun and Momo is so good, actually. Like it really is a fucking great dynamic between the main characters. The first episode was a little off-putting. Yeah, I mean, it is, but I feel like it uses that to great effect. It's not there for shock value. It's there as a way to emphasize the danger she's in. Haven't started Dandadan, will you say it's worth watching weekly? Yes. It's rare that I say that, but I think Dandadan is a better experience watching weekly than binging it. Is their dynamic better than Mob and Reagan from Mob Psycho? No, but it's up there. Like, imagine you recommend that to a non-anime viewer in first episode, that girl almost gets violated. They'd be like, what the fuck? I don't think that's necessarily true. Like, themes of sexual violence aren't unique to anime. And the way it's portrayed in episode 1 of Dandadan doesn't really fall into the anime tropes that make anime weird. Right? It's not like there's like fucking 7 fan service panty shots in a row. Like, the themes aren't used to justify weird fan service. And the themes are somewhat unavoidable if you want to tell a story about aliens. Right? If you want to tell a story about how people's, like, folk stories and people's, like, superstitions either originate from or are the source of supernatural things happening, you can't just completely ignore what is arguably the most major part of alien abduction stories. You kind of have to address it in some way. And I think the way they did address it wasn't gratuitous, or honestly wasn't all that weird. Like, it was weird, but it was more weird because of Okada than because of and because of, like, the way they spoke than because of the fan service, you know? Like, what was weird wasn't the framing of what happens to Momo, it was the aliens themselves that were fucking weird, you know? Anyways, Dandadan is amazing. And you should watch it. Every single person in chat should watch it. What is it about? I can give you a quick synopsis, sure. Dandadan tells a story of 2 high schoolers. A nerd, otaku guy who's kind of a loner and who is obsessed with aliens. Wait, no. Wait, which one of them is obsessed with aliens? No, he's obsessed with the occult. No, he's obsessed with aliens. Dude, I never remember, man. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, he's obsessed with aliens. Okay? And a popular girl who is secretly obsessed with the occult. And it starts with her getting broken up with, or her breaking up with her boyfriend. And she's in a shit mood. And they meet. And it's kind of an awkward meeting. And she's kind of mean to him. because she's in a shit mood. But then she's like, oh shit, my bad. Like, you didn't do anything wrong. So she tries to cheer him up. And then he starts fucking yapping about aliens, and she's like, you're a fucking idiot. Never mind, I'm out. But he insists, and she's like, you know what's actually real, though? Ghosts. Ghosts are real. And then they start fucking fighting. Like, not actually fighting, but fighting with words. And then they make a bet against one another. He is going to go to a ghost place to prove that ghosts don't exist. And she is going to go to an alien abduction place to prove that aliens don't exist. And she gets abducted by aliens, and he gets fucked over by ghosts. I'll leave you with only this much. That's pretty much the setting for the show. And it's great. Who is your favorite character in the show? What do you mean by favorite? I'll tell you both. The character I think is the most likable, and the character I think is adding the most to the story. The most likable character is Turbo Granny. It's not even close. My goat. The character I think is adding the most to the show is Irie. She's so pathetic. It's amazing, dude. I love it. It's so good. Ida, sorry. Not I. Whatever. Dude, it's so good. She's so fucking pathetic. It's amazing. Yeah, we'll add that. Ira is so annoying. Yeah, but that's why she's so good. But like, Dandadan is the kind of show. I showed the screenshot yesterday, but I'll show it again. Dandadan is the kind of show where a line like this can actually be said in a serious situation, and it doesn't take you out of your immersion. It makes you laugh, but it doesn't take you out of your immersion. And like that's what I mean, right? Like, this is a funny as fuck line, but it's not it's not a punchline, right? It's not supposed to be like, oh, we build up to this joke and then we say it. Like, this is just something that is happening in the midst of the story. Anyways, dude, I don't know what I should do. I guess I'll just do artifacts. And when does episode drops? Dandadan episodes drop every Thursday. What do we play? Let's play something we don't usually play here. You know, I feel like I haven't played Shao in a pretty long time in something like this.
I trust you have packed ample foodstuffs.
I need to get off Twitter to enjoy Dandadan. I've had nothing but negative interactions with the fans. Really? Sorry to hear that.
Here's the
Alright, child, before we spend the rest of our resin, let's do the most important part of the stream. Stare! Pound! Zilch! Rain. Fuck. Fuck, man. Dude, this is hard, man. This is actually so hard.
You have a special
I guess that would mean
place in my
the
heart.
eye has to be here. Inner? Could it be inner? Okay. That one was hard. That one was hard. Wasn't the best, but still, we take those. Oh my, we got a golden Kappa train. Who the fuck cares? Thank you for the 13 months, Zarakin, and thank you for the 1 month. Otaku underscore 4520. Chant. Please. Say, oh, I'm so sure. Wait, what? Hello? Peter? Press? Owls? Scoff? Olive? Alright. Not bad! Oh, we gotta do the fucking... Ugh. Ugh. Alright. Fucking hell, dude. Frick you for making me do this. Maj. New York Times tech workers are on strike. Oh. Man. All alternatives? I see. These Connection Strike Edition? Mini Crossword Strike Edition? Okay, Pog. I'm gonna lose my streak! Whatever. Whatever. Joy, bargaining, Lion King, anger, anxiety, Dune, acceptance, sadness, Inception, Lilo and Stitch, embarrassment, Princess Diaries, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, Spirit, denial. Denial, acceptance, bargaining, anger. Lion King, Lilo and Stitch, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo. What? Wait. This isn't Disney, is it? Okay, I don't know. Whatever. Joy, sadness, anxiety, embarrassment? Wait, isn't Spirit the fucking horse? What? Wait, so... This was not one away. So there's two wrong here. So Monsters Inc. is here. And Princess Diaries is the last one. So which one of these three doesn't fit? Today I learned there's a horse animated movie? Yeah. Dude, which one of these doesn't fit? I guess there's no humans in Lion King, maybe? That was straight up just luck. That was 100% just luck. Movies scored by Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer scored Spirit? What the fuck? Did anyone know this in chat? No. Okay, cool. I'm glad I wasn't the only one. I've never heard of Spirit before. You've probably heard of it, but forgot about it. Wait. Spirit movie. It's this one. Okay. Treasure Hoarder, Sword User, released not long after Kaya. Oh, it's not Mondstadt. Shit, I'm an idiot. Could it be Kazuha? Maybe? Nice. Apparently, I'll have to show a little more of my true capabilities. I did not realize that you had such a penchant for getting into dangerous situations. I have no clue who the fuck this is. Someone who feels like they have to protect us? And who is hiding her power. His power. I don't know. This feels like a her. Maybe it's not. I don't think there's any of the male characters that aren't flexers, actually. They're all flexers. Maybe Neviled isn't a flexer, but I don't know, man. Maybe it is Neviled. It is Neviled. Dude, that's fucked up. That is fucked up. No clue. Oh. My bad. That's a plant. That's a picture. Nice. Bald! It's not bald. Released recently. A destruction character that was released recently. She is Hunt, I think. Firefly was after 2. Or was before 2.3, right? I think. Dude, what patch is it right now in Star Rail? I don't even know. This character, I think, is Nihility? Or Abundance? I don't know which one. This character is Abundance, I think. This character is Hunt. I don't know what Moe's is. He's Hunt, okay. Wait, no, this is the wait, no. Yeah, okay, never mind. What is Rappa? No, Rappa was released after Moe's. Wait, this character is Destruction, isn't she? She's like Clara too? Yeah! Yeah! Alright. Daily quote. If you come across a good research sample, let me know. Right? No. Right. Wrong circle lady. I knew it was a circle lady, but I didn't remember which circle lady it was. Alright, are we gonna get the 1 in 22 good day? No. No, we won't. Ice character. Okay. Okay. Time for some hard labor. How can I help? Oops. Lament! Chat, he said the line. I want you to lament right now. If you don't lament, I will take that as an insult. Okay, chat. I don't have a great circlet right now. This one I have a good feeling about, okay? So let's just, let's, okay. We have 3 other circlets, okay? If none of these are crit, this will be crit, okay? I believe. HP? Fuck! Well, it's crit rate. We won't crit damage. Oh, fuck. My bad. You look very good with glasses. Thank you. I think it's probably more the weight loss than the glasses, but nonetheless, thank you for the compliment.
Make way for the boring disappear.
Aren't Obsidian attack circlets good for the same reason Blizzard attack circlets are? They could be, but unlike Blizzard Strayer, you're always running Bennett with attack scaling Nutland characters. I didn't even notice the weight loss. Damn. That's fucked.
Fun with this gift. Time to shine.
I see. It's okay. You'll notice it at some point.
Seize the skies. Useless.
Evil
Evil conquering.
conquering! That evil conquering implies the existence of good conquering. I'm back here after being gone for like 3 months and I definitely noticed. Pong. I'm glad you noticed. I'll lock this just in case. But it's okay. Listen, I don't care if you noticed or not. Alright, I can fucking fit in some of my clothes again, which is really nice. I can't wait until I can fit in all of my clothes again.
Make way for
Did you change your diet or exercise routine? I changed both. Sure. Well, good. Bears on his C6, yep.
have fun with this gift.
Concerned diet? Yeah, my diet is a little
Strike
intense right now, but it's working and I feel so much better, so like I don't give a shit. Any tips on weight loss you can give? The main thing is just eating less. The amount of effort that's required to burn off a meal's worth of calories is so much. Diet has a significantly bigger impact on weight loss than exercise. Exercise is also important, but it's less for weight loss and more so for, like, feeling healthier. And the trick to being able to stick to a diet that is less calorie dense is to eat foods that fill you up without being very calorie dense. Just in general, watery foods, soups, tend to make weight loss a lot easier. And never ever drink anything that has calories in it as like a drink.
Memories. So dark.
Develop a taste for tea. Find a tea you like. Get yourself some sparkling water. Just something that doesn't have calories in it. Water is also good, obviously, but it can be difficult to, like, fucking raw dog change a lot of soda to water.
I'll sooner die again than lay a hand on me.
How do you curb your appetite? I don't. No, but a lot of water and calorie-free drinks. I don't really feel too hungry. But if you do feel really hungry, low-calorie vegetables, lettuce, carrots, stuff like that, are basically the best snack you can have. I use apples. Apples bad. Apples bad. Fruit is not as good for your health as you think it is. Well, okay. No, fruit is good for your health, but it's not good for weight loss. Anything that has sugar is going to be bad for your weight loss. If you ever eat anything sweet, it's gonna make your weight loss much harder. For me, it's easy to avoid it because I don't have much of a sweet tooth. I tend to like salty things more than sweet things.
Reduced to just standing around. How absurd.
Yeah, from what I understand, even if there isn't too much sugar in it, the fact that it's sweet, even with artificial sweeteners, it triggers an insulin response that kind of fucks with your metabolism's ability to process your calories well, and it fucks with weight loss. All you need is calorie deficit. It's not rocket science. I mean, yes and no, right? Like, yes, that is true, but the amount of caloric intake you can have while still maintaining a calorie deficit is going to depend on what you eat. Yes, as long as you consume less calories than you like, as long as you eat less calories than you burn, you will lose weight. But if the things that you eat are wrong, your metabolism will realize that you're not getting a lot of food and is going to start consuming less food. And so just eating less, it's not as great advice as you think it is. Personally, what's working for me right now isn't going to work for a lot of people because one relatively small meal a day is not enough for the energy needs of most people. Right? But I live a relatively sedentary lifestyle. And so, for me, it's not really too much of a problem. And I was so unhealthy before I started that, like, the low energy effect of a diet that is as low in calories as mine are I still feel better than I did before I started. Like, my current diet isn't particularly healthy. The foods that I eat aren't really the sort of foods that you should eat, but they're low effort, cheap foods. And one of the purposes of my diet isn't... one of the purposes of my diet is that I was spending too much on food. And I'm also pretty lazy. So if I try to do a proper healthy diet with actual, like, properly cooked meal, I know I won't be able to stick with it long term. Because I know myself. I know I will not be able to maintain a diet like that long term. And a diet you can't maintain is a worthless diet.
Reduced to just standing around. How absurd.
But yeah, like, my diet is it looks intimidating from the outside, but, like, I'm not struggling with it at all. I haven't really craved a large meal since, like,
The damned will sooner
2 or 3 days after I started.
hand on me.
Remember, chat, you need some carbs, some protein, some fat, you need all the nutrients on some level, don't cut anything completely. Yeah, that's why the meal I'm doing is like, that's why I add the egg to my ramen. Because if I didn't have any protein whatsoever, that would be bad. What's the goal again? My goal for the diet? I mean, mainly it's to lose weight. I also want to put on a little bit of muscle, but that's kind of... It's second. I don't actually want to be big. Like, I don't want to be shredded. I just want, like, relatively well-defined muscles. that aren't hidden under 30 fucking centimeters of layers of fat. Anyways.
Ears of the storm, shower me with praise. Let my name echo. Make way for the useless.
Lament!
Worthless. Worthless.
Burblord. That's not true. The first part of your sentence is true, the second one isn't. It is true that 300 calories of veggies and 300 calories of potato chips are not the same. The reason why they're not the same, though, is because 300 calories of veggies will lead to you consuming more calories. It will give you more nutrients, which will make your body function better. Whereas 300 calories of potato chips is unhealthy as shit. Your caloric intake is going to be the same, but your caloric consumption is going to be different. That's why you're going to put on weight. Not because your calorie deficit is the same, but the food with fat is making you fatter. It's because your caloric consumption changes based on what you eat. But it doesn't change the fact that deficit means weight loss, and no deficit means weight gain. Like, by definition, the calories you consume is the weight reserves. Whether they're fat or muscle or anything else, consuming calories is by definition consuming some of your weight. And gaining calories is gaining some of your weight. Your diet changes what and how much you consume. But the amount of your diet is just how much you gain. Consuming Zajef content to help you lose weight. True! If the only thing you eat is Zajef content, you're gonna lose weight real fucking fast, buddy. If you stop eating carbs and only eat fats, like in the keto diet, your body will consume your proteins and carbs in your body that isn't fat because you're giving it enough fat through food. But if you don't cut carbs completely, no ketos. Yeah, but like, you're still losing weight. You can gain fat and still lose weight. If you lose more muscle than you gain fat, you've lost weight. Like, that's the point I'm making. We're not talking about, like, right now, we're not talking about your how healthy you are, your fat percentage or anything like that. We're talking about how much you weigh. And a caloric deficit will lead to weight loss no matter what your diet is. By definition. Verblord, you're not getting what, like, you're saying the same thing, but saying you disagree. Yes, indeed. Your energy goes into energy saving mode, which means it is now consuming less calories. That's the same thing they're saying. Which means which means you're not in deficit anymore. You should probably take vitamin supplements. I do. Way ahead of you, buddy. Your brain needs carbs. Yeah, your brain, well, your body in general needs the three main sources of calories for different reasons. But like you need carbs, lipids, and protein. If you cut one of them out completely, it is going to have negative effects. The specific negative effect will depend on which one you cut out, but yeah. A healthy diet should not cut any of those out completely. Regulating your intake so that you don't take too much of any of them is a good idea. And if you're going to take too much of one of them, it's probably better to have too much protein than to have too much of the other two. But that doesn't change the fact that too much of any of them is bad.
Thank you for add ast.
Yes, thank you, Sparrow. The main, yeah, like, too much carbs is carbs are the source of calories that are the easiest for the body to convert into energy, which is why athletes tend to have relatively high carb meals in order to maintain their energy consumption. But if you aren't someone who does a lot of exercise, because carbs are what gets stored as energy the most quickly, it's gonna get stored as energy, and if you don't use that energy, it's gonna stay in your body and it's gonna store itself as fat. Or, I guess, more accurately, it's gonna become the energy that you use, and your reserves of fat will not get consumed whatsoever. I love carbs. Most people love carbs. The body recognizes very easily that, oh, these are the foods that make me energetic. It's the same reason people tend to like sweet things. It's an evolutionary result. People tend to like the taste of sweet things because sweet things give you energy, and biologically, humans and animals in general need to eat things that give them energy. Yeah, of course, Sparrow. Like, when I said the thing about athletes, I mean, like, the reason why athletes' diet tends to have more carbs than others is because they tend to expend more energy. And the easiest way to get that energy from your diet is through carbs. But that doesn't mean they should only eat carbs, nor does it mean that if you don't do a lot of exercise, you shouldn't eat carbs at all. Nah, I get that, Sparrow. It is what it is. Aware. Carbs are infinite energy glitch. True! How do you cut out all carbs? I mean, by having a diet where you completely hate yourself. Like, one, it's not particularly good for your health. It can lead to short-term weight loss, but that doesn't mean it's actually healthy. It can even be, like, dangerous to cut them out completely. So, don't do it. But two, also, all the good foods have carbs in them, man! Why would you want to do this to yourself? What's wrong with you? Do you have stupid? With a knife. True, you cut out all carbs with a knife. Good point, good point. If there's things you should tend to cut out of your diet, it's like overly processed foods. Not carbs. I'm gonna lose it. You don't need to cut out anything from your diet. I mean, you do. Like, if your diet is, I eat only chocolate cake, that's something you should cut out of your diet, buddy. Like, that's wrong.
If you are presently unoccupied, perhaps we could stop a while at once abode.
I also think that if what you're trying to achieve is weight loss, staying away from foods that are sweet is a great idea. You don't need to cut them out, but it'll help. Getting your carbs from things that aren't sweet is gonna be better than getting them from things that are sweet. From what I understand, sucrose is like one of the worst sources of glucose. Or one of the worst, like, sugar, carb-related source of... Dude, I don't know, because I learned all my fucking health-related things in French. So there's so many words that are different. But fructose is bad for you. Like, it's not bad for you, but like it's pretty much the worst source of carbs. Well, maybe not the worst, but one of the worst. And getting your glucose, I think. Yeah, getting your carbs from things that aren't full of fructose is generally going to be better for you. There is no good or bad sources of carbs. Please, God, stop moralizing. I'm not moralizing food. I'm not saying fructose is evil. I'm saying eating fructose will make it harder to lose weight than eating other sources of carbs. I'm not trying to assign moral value to different sources of carbs. Everything in moderation. That's terrible advice, though. Like, a blanket statement, yeah, you can have everything in moderation. Okay, define moderation and define everything. Should I eat wood if I only eat one fucking chip of wood a day? How useless can you be? How much cocaine am I allowed to have every day? You can microdose cocaine and be fine. Alright, noted. Oh. Everything in moderation is vague but true in accordance. But like, it's not just vague, it's also incredibly unhelpful. When people want diet advice, they don't want to be told, just do what you feel is right. They don't know what's right! That's why they're asking you for advice! Everything in moderation is the pull who you like of diet, okay? It's useless advice. It's a fine response to, hey, I'm dieting, but I fucking love chocolate cake so much, I can't cut it out of my diet completely. Then you can respond like, okay, well, as long as it's in moderation, maybe you have it like a small slice once a week or something. Like, it's not gonna completely ruin your diet plans. Everything can be fine in moderation, and that's a fine response to that. But it's not a good piece of actual general advice to give to someone.
Oh, but why must the listener grow weary whenever I begin to divulge them?
Like, sure, you're not gonna like instantly fucking die if you have a bunch of fruit in your diet, but everything in moderation as a response to generally staying away from sweet foods will help you lose weight more easily is incredibly unhelpful, because you're opposing the statement. But, like, why are you opposing the statement? Do you disagree with it? No. Anyways. Anyway, sorry for the bout of mauling. Now I'm more confused. Okay, okay. Basically, all right. The conclusion is responding. Everything is fine in moderation. To someone asking what foods they should eat and what foods they shouldn't eat is unhelpful, like actively unhelpful. You're preventing them from improving their diet.
If you are presently unoccupied, perhaps
It's a good caveat to add to the actual advice you give them, but it can't be the actual advice you give them. It's just no, like that's what I'm saying. It's not a starting point. It's an asterisk. It's an asterisk that can be nice to mention, but it's not the starting point. The starting point should be which foods are good and which foods are bad when someone is asking you which foods are good and which foods are bad. But yeah, like the most generic advice I can give you if you want to lose weight is that
profound to convey in a few simple
foods that are
Oh, but
large
the listener grow
but low in calories
to divulge them.
tend to be insane for weight loss. Things that will take place in your stomach without being too dense in calories will help satiate, I don't know how you pronounce it, your hunger with less calories. And the best foods for that are vegetables that have a lot of water in them. And soups. And water. Beans for the win, cheap and filling. Beans fulfill a different purpose. Beans aren't something you eat because you want to feel full with low calories. Beans are something you eat because you want to feel full for cheap. They're relatively average in terms of like caloric density.
And all things are made new.
They're not really more or less filling
This is an
than the
auspicious
average food.
humanity.
Yeah, like beans are a good base to a diet. They're not something that you eat specifically to lose weight. Beans can be part of a diet where your goal is to lose weight, but it's not the beans that are doing the heavy lifting. It's the eating less that's doing the heavy lifting. The fiber does help, that's true. But I don't think beans are like the best source of fiber. Like, generally,
Political arts are too profound to convey in a few simple words.
carrots,
Oh, but
lettuce.
the listener grow weary whenever I begin to divulge them.
Carrots and lettuce are like the goats. When it comes to weight loss, carrots and lettuce are like actually the fucking goats.
Peace prevails throughout the land, and all
And
things are made new. As buds of
because of how relatively low calorie they are,
era for humanity.
how filling they are, and how full of fiber they are, you could pretty much eat as many carrots and lettuce as you want, or as many carrots or as much lettuce as you want, and still lose weight. Because it's hard not to be in calorie deficit if you have like a very, very basic meal and then a fuck ton of lettuce or carrots.
If you are presently unoccupied.
I mean, you shouldn't only eat carrots, obviously, that would be pretty bad for you, but like that, anyways. Like, my personal way of satiating my hunger is just through drinks that don't have any calories in them, so, like, whatever. Celery is good too, yeah. Celery is also good, but I know a lot less people like celery. I feel like 2/3 of the celery you buy is, like, bitter as shit. And 1/3 of the celery is, like, really good. Is the Arcane Yap spoil? We're done talking about Arcane for today. Yeah, cucumbers are also good, that's true. I'll be right back, chat.
Peace prevails
Alright, I'm
throughout
back.
the land, and all things are.
Oh. Alright. What were we talking about? We were talking about dieting. Talking about celery and cucumber. Okay, I want to know if I'm the only one who feels this way. I don't like it when my cucumbers are too cold. Cucumbers straight out of the fridge are too cold, man. And I don't like eating them. Okay? Like, they're cringe. They're so cringe. The best vegetables to eat straight out of the fridge are carrots and lettuce, for sure. I got told that was weird for thinking green peppers are by far the worst pepper. In my opinion, green peppers are the best pepper.
Presently unoccupied. Perhaps we could stop.
But I understand why you wouldn't like them. They have a little bit of a bitter taste. I don't like red peppers because they're a bit too sweet for me. They all taste the same. That is delusional as fuck. Have you ever tasted a green pepper? That's an awful take. What is your preferred way of eating potatoes? I don't know what you call them, but my dad used to have this like tool that was like kind of like a garlic presser or whatever, where like you put the potato in and then you like push on it and it potato ricer. Yeah, that's the thing.
In a few simple words. Oh, but why must the listener grow weary?
That's my favorite way of eating potatoes, for sure. For sure. What the fuck is a potato ricer? I can show you. Potato ricer. This thing. I've never seen that. It's the best way of eating potatoes. For sure. Thoughts on hash browns? Hash browns are okay.
If you are presently unoccupied.
Hash browns tend to be the best way to eat fast food potatoes. Like hash browns solo fast food fries. And it's not even close. But if you're gonna make them at home, meh. I've been wondering if I should add an egg to my meal. You want to gain muscle? 1 egg a day is way too little. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What do your macros look like on that meal? Macronutrient calculator.
The secrets of the mechanical
Wait,
arts
no.
are too profound to convey in a few simple words.
Wait, let me just do it on Excel.
The listener grow weary whenever I begin to divulge them.
Mr. Noodle's caloric values. We have lipids, carbs, and protein.
If If you are presently unoccupied,
15,
perhaps we
37,
could stop a while at one's abode for some repose and conversation.
7. Craft, singles, caloric value. I don't want to go downstairs, man. 9.8. And egg calories or caloric values. Oh, doesn't split. Oh, it does split it. No, it doesn't. Ugh. It just says the amount of calories. It doesn't fucking do the. Oh, never mind. I found it.
The secrets of the
No, I didn't find
vods
it.
are too profound to convey in a few simple words. Oh, but why must the listener grow weary whenever I begin to divulge?
Dude, where the fuck can I find the calories in an egg? There we go. I found it. Okay. So, 30 grams of lipids, 40 grams of carbs, and 20 grams of protein is my current diet.
If you are presently unoccupied, perhaps we could stop a while at one's abode for some repose and conversation.
Genuinely, your muscles are breaking down to get the necessary protein you need. But, like, I've noticed muscle gain, so that can't be right.
Peace
Probably more swelling than anything, but
and all things
I'm also getting stronger.
buds in the spring. This is an auspicious era for humanity.
Maybe 20 grams is underestimating. I mean, these are the things I eat. You can double check it if you want. This is 1 pack of Mr. Noodles.
If you are
This is
presently unoccupied,
2 Kraft singles,
at one's abode for some repose and
and this is 1 egg. Beginner muscle gain is usually just water. But why am I getting significantly stronger then? Mostly neuromuscular efficiency from performing the movements often. But, like, it's... I don't know, man. you're overweight and just starting to work out, your body can convert fat to build muscle. Yeah, like that's what I thought was happening. What fruits do you eat? This is all I eat. I don't eat fruit. This plus a multivitamin, and then a glass of tomato juice. Can I recommend adding vegetables? Yeah, I'll add in vegetables soon. He eats the fruit of his labor. True! I think if this is all I ate, I would be extremely constipated. Chat, I'm a fucking coffee addict. I don't know what constipation is. But yeah, like if I were to do like 2 eggs instead.
The secrets of the mechanical arts are too profound to convey in a few simple words. Oh, but why must the listener grow weary?
Like for now, that's what I'm thinking. Feel like you're gonna burn out real fast. But like... what do you want me to say, man? I've been doing it for 3 weeks, and I feel better than I've felt in the past 3 years.
Unoccupied. Perhaps we could stop a while at one's abode for some repose and conversation.
Some fruits won't hurt? That's not true. Fruits will hurt, actually. If I'm gonna add something, it's not gonna be fruit. It's gonna be vegetables. Stop recommending fruit.
Peace prevails throughout the land, and all things are made new, as buds in the spring. This
Add
is
proteins.
no
Yeah, like...
for humanity.
but like I said, right now, my main focus isn't muscle gain. I'm working out as a way to make sure that the weight I lose isn't just fucking muscle. Like, in a perfect world, I wanna maintain-ish my muscle mass while losing a lot of fat. That's the main purpose of my diet right now. I care a lot more about the weight loss than the muscle gain. I'm confused. Doesn't your body use fat for energy before the muscles? I mean, yes and no.
The secrets of the mechanical arts are too profound to convey in a few simple words.
If you don't do any exercise, what's gonna happen is your body's gonna use everything that's available to it. If you're doing a caloric deficit. So yes, you'll lose fat, but you'll also lose muscle. Working out while doing a diet helps you it tells your body to rebuild the muscles. Long term, this is incredibly unsustainable, both physically and mentally. I need people to stop telling me how I'm supposed to feel mentally, okay? Like, shut the fuck up, you're getting annoying. Jesus Christ. How many times do I have to say, I feel significantly better mentally than I did before I started this, for you to stop saying, oh no, you won't be able to maintain this mentally. Shut the fuck up. God. Yeah, but Sparrow, I'm not planning on doing this forever, right? My plan is basically doing something like this, maybe adding an egg, maybe even adding 2 eggs, something like this. Until I at least get to a weight where my fucking clothes all fit me again. And after that, increasing my diet, but sticking to things that are healthy instead of the awful diet I was eating before. Like, I already decided for a fact that I will not be keeping up this diet in 2025. This specific meal plan is at most lasting until December 31st. I'm glad you feel good with working out and diet. You were really down some weeks before. Yeah, it was awful, man. It really was fucking awful. For that, you're going back to square one? No. Zajefs are incredibly difficult to come out of without rebound. I mean, the main reason for that is because people suddenly stop their diet and go back to their previous diet. Instead of slowly reintroducing things. But the thing is, like, I don't have the words to properly express how much better I feel than before I started. And how desperate I am to not go back to feeling like that. I can tell you for a fact, I will not just rubber band back into my old diet. That is not going to fucking happen. Is Mr. Noodles a Western brand? I think so. They're like the cheap ramen. You don't mind me asking, what was your old diet? I was just fucking ordering food pretty much every day. Horrible for my health, horrible for my fucking wallet. Just dog shit.
Throughout the land, and all things are made new, as buds in the spring. This is an auspicious era.
You can order healthy food. There's like no healthy restaurants that deliver around here. But honestly, my biggest issue was the psychological impact of delivery fees. I don't want to order just a small... Like, if I'm gonna order something, I might as well order a lot. So I don't have to pay fucking the same cost as the meal in delivery fees. I might as well order more. But then it gets here, and then I eat all of it. And then I'm like, oh, well, fuck, what have I done? Ugh.
The secrets of the mechanical arts are too profound to convey in a few simple words. Oh, but why must the listener grow weary whenever I begin to divulge them?
Alright. Thank you for your minus 5k. I'm dying of cringe now. Ugh. Doesn't it feel like shit doing that in the chair? It's not as good as doing it on a fucking exercise bench, but it's better than doing it on a fucking bed. It's fine. I don't mind it that much. Do it standing up? Yeah. I mean, you work on a different part of the muscle when you do it standing up. Like if you do full curls. You're doing both arms, yeah. But I want to know if there are better ways to passively exercise than just walking, because I get so bored doing that. I do squats while holding my laptop when I'm watching things or reading things. It works. It works, you know? It works. You get a standing desk and a treadmill, yeah. I mean, that's also another thing you could do for sure. But that requires actual... Like, that requires purchasing things. Nothing else, I would implore you to get a comprehensive blood panel. Yeah, I should probably do that. Ugh, man. Oh, actually, you know what I should do? I should add tofu to my ramen. That's what I should do. You're vegetarian, right? Not really. Not anymore. But, like, if I want to add something, I want to add something that is very... Like, if I want to add protein to my diet, I want to add something that is very low in fat. Lentils? I don't know. I don't really want to... Like, it has to be something I can maintain long term, right? If I like, right now, I'm okay with my diet. I feel good with it. If I want to add something to it, it has to be something that I'm not gonna hate myself while eating. Why craft singles? Craft singles make cheap ramen so much better. It makes the broth a lot more smooth. And more tasty. But they're a really, really good, incredibly low effort way of improving your dog shit 25-cent ramen pack. Yeah, it makes the broth a lot more creamy and very nice. Kraft singles honestly have one of the best macro for cheese in terms of protein. Micronutrient not so much, but it works. Yeah, I mean, I'm taking vitamin supplements anyways.
Once abode for some repose and conversation.
Only thing I'd say is keep an eye on the sodium. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't eat enough for that sodium to be an over intake, you know? Classic cheese just hits different with ramen, exactly. You get it. You get it. You get it. Seeking out a... But, like, ideally, I want something that isn't gonna make the prep longer. Part of why I'm able to stick with the diet so easily is because it's low effort to prepare. Did we talk about the combat event yet? No, not yet. Or like all I do is I boil my water, I put my ramen in, I put the instant, the flavor packet. I put the cheese. I put the egg. It's done. The most difficult part of eating clean is all the prep. I wish I could just eat a pill, yeah. Maybe I should just fucking get some protein powder, but like, oh. I feel like I'm gonna die of cringe with protein powder. You'll die of kidney stones? Oh. Is that a thing that happens when you eat protein powder? Whey protein isolate is what I would recommend. You might as well just eat wall insulation in place of protein, bro. What the fuck? Whey is good if you exercise, but if you don't have any other protein income, well, that's both of those conditions are more or less fulfilled right now. So I'll think about it. I will think about it. Hello. Alright, chat, let's yap about the event. Should we make a video out of this? Maybe? How many days are left? Any knowers? Four days? Editors can probably get it done by then. Alright, we can make a video out of it. All right. Say hi to YouTube. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome. Hi, to a video on the Feast of Pursuit combat event that we've had for a little bit. I wasn't sure if I was going to make a video on this, but honestly, I've been really enjoying this event. So I figured, you know what? Let's put it out on YouTube. We might as well. This combat event has a total of 6 different, I guess, levels or stages, I guess. Each of which can be played on one of 4 different difficulties. In this video, I'll only be talking about the Steadfast difficulty. But for those of you that don't quite have the investment necessary for it, you're not missing out on that many rewards. Even if you miss out on the last 2 rewards, you still get the important stuff. Although more is obviously nice to get, but I want to talk about the balance of it, and I want to talk about some tips in order to get better clears. So as you can see, I've gotten all of my clears. I also managed to do Forcer-only clears for 5 of the 6 stages. One of the stages I think is incredibly rough with Forcer-only characters. It's probably possible, but not with my level of investment. Maybe I'd be able to do it if I used potions, but I did everything else without potions, so I didn't wanna do something different for this. Anyways, the first of the 6 stages is Triple Kenki. And the buff that it gives you is after characters trigger dendro-related reactions 30 times on opponents, the elemental mastery of all party members is increased by 400. This is going to be a massive buff to teams that use transformative reactions to do most of their damage. So Hyperbloom, Burgeon, and Nilo teams are going to get a massive buff from this. Teams that can trigger this, but aren't necessarily transformative reaction focused. So for example, Mwalani burn teams, or that's kind of it, actually. Oh, sorry, Molani Vape teams, or like Aggravate teams, where the EM matters a bit less because there's a bunch of your damage that's going off your attack scaling. This is going to be a nice buff, but not game-changing. And then obviously teams that don't have any of this are going to struggle a bit more. The team I got my fastest clear with, if I had Nilo, would have been Nilo. I can tell you that right now, but I don't have Nilo. So the team I got my fastest clear with was Razor team. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you're probably already aware of Thundering Fury. But it's a team where Razor is focused on triggering Burgeon reactions using Bennett's C6 to infuse his attacks with Pyro. The specific timing of his attacks is incredibly favorable. Usually in Burgeon teams, when your Pyro character, or whichever character is applying Pyro to trigger your Burgeon, applies Pyro to enemies, it's going to trigger burning, and then the next Hydro application is not going to trigger to create a Bloom Seed, because it's going to be applying 1 unit of Hydro to 2 units of burning. The 2 units of burning are going to use up the whole unit of Hydro, and then you'll have no Hydro application left over from that hit to penetrate into the Dendro Aura and trigger Bloom. However, if you weaken the Burning Aura with an Electro hit, make it go from 2U of burning to 1U, then your Hydro application is going to be enough to carry over. Because both Razor's normal attacks and Burst are standard ICD, every time his normal attack will apply Pyro, it will also apply Electro right after, which is going to weaken that Burning Aura. And because of that, you're effectively never really in a position where the enemy has 2 units of burning on them. On top of this, Razor's self-Electro application with Bennett's self-Pyro application makes you trigger a bunch of overloads, and all in all, the team is incredibly good at AoE content where you've got multiple enemies to generate those Bloom Seeds from Xingqiu's orbital Hydro application. Let me double check the builds, and then I'm not going to do the whole thing because I don't want the video to be too long, but I will show you very quickly the start of it. need to adjust my builds very quickly. Sapwood on Bennett so we can get the Leaf to buff Razor's EM. Instructor as well on Bennett for the same reason. We want to buff Razor's EM as much as possible. Nahida on Fav so that we don't struggle with our energy, and then Singto either on Sak or Fav for the same reason. Because the Genkis freeze you, the cryo aura left on the field makes it so that using Singto's E will self-freeze. Doing it twice is a bit annoying, so I would recommend Sak over Fav here. A useful tip for these, and I don't know exactly how this applies to mobile, console, or PC players with a shit PC, but when enemies load as fast as they do here, normally the cryo guy starts with an attack like this. However, if you leave the challenge and immediately click on challenge again, and then you immediately dash forward, wait. I think you have to do it quickly, like this. Yeah.
Temple of Wisdom. Witness the power of the wild rain outlines your fate. I'm going in.
You can prevent it from leaving at the very start. Alright, they're now properly grouped. We've procced our thing, so our virgins are hitting for 40k in AoE.
Let me weave you a web. Teamwork is dreamwork. Know my sword. I kill you.
And we keep going until the end like this. Like I said, I don't want to bother doing the whole thing, but you could see from their HP that it wouldn't have been much of a problem. The 4-star only team I used for this was the very same thing, but with Dendro MC instead of Nahida. It is significantly worse with Dendro MC than Nahida, and I'd say that I was getting it about 30% of the time. I got it on my first try, but when I tried to recreate it afterwards, it took me like 6 tries or something. But definitely a 4-star only team that can deal with it. Next, we have the annoying new enemies. I don't know what they're called. The one that's supposed to be coming out next patch. It's an enemy that transforms into a bunch of different enemies and has an insanely large, non-specific elemental shield. Alright, you can see the elemental shield here. As long as the shield is there, you won't be able to do any damage to it. So ideally, you want something that will be able to get rid of the shield quickly. Now, this isn't a normal elemental shield, because what makes it tick down, or what breaks it, isn't elemental application, it's elemental hits. So even hits that don't apply elements. Because of that, burning, each tick of burning will hit the shield. So, anything that has a bunch of elemental hits, or that is a burning team, is going to be very quick at breaking these things. On top of that, Night Soul attacks, I think it multiplied, I don't know if it's by 2 or by 3, but they're more effective at breaking the shield. The buff you get here is after characters use elemental skills 8 times, the damage dealt by the active character's normal attacks and elemental skills will increase by 75%. If the character is in Night Soul's Blessing, the damage dealt by the character's normal attack and elemental skill will increase by an additional 50%. Basically, the trigger condition is relatively trivial. You'll use skills on every team. and it gives you normal attack and skill bonus. And then even more so to Nutland characters. I think the fastest team I got with this was a Kanich team, because obviously gets full value out of it, and is a burning Night Soul team, so it's very quick at breaking the shield. However, as long as you play a team that applies or that hits with elements a lot, you'll be able to break the shield fast enough that it can give you ample time to kill them, even if you take more than one rotation to kill them. Each of them, sorry, there's 2 enemies that spawn, one after the other. The 4-star only team that I used 2, but both of them were Xiangling teams. I did Sucrose National and Fischl National. Sucrose National breaks the shield slower, but it's easier to one-down it. Fischl National breaks the shield faster, but you're probably gonna need to break the shield one more time. It's a matter of breakpoints, obviously. If you don't have the damage to one-down it, then I would always recommend Fischl over Sucrose. But, yeah. Next, we got the Yumkasaur. The buff you get from the Yumkasaur is after characters trigger Vape 10 times, the damage dealt by the active character's normal and charge attack increases by 100%. The team that I used for this was Sucrose National, the 4-star only team. My fastest team, I believe, was an Arlecchino Vape team. The main thing about this is you absolutely need to have either a pyro character or at least a way to apply pyro to things. Because he takes a lot of damage from his self-damage attack when he spawns the, like, fire fruits or whatever they're called. So let me show you. Right, so you can see 528k on each. I'm not sure if they can vape. I'll double check. I think they can. My positioning was ass. Yeah, so 792k. They can vape, they can melt. So if you remember that and you do your stuff properly, you can cheat out to more damage with that. Try not to apply pyro to him while he's doing his things, other than with the attack that's gonna make them explode. You'll get a total of up to, I think, 7 hits from that. Because he does the attack 3 times, but the second time he does it, he only spawns 1 for some reason. I don't really know why. But yeah. A team that can take advantage of this would generally have a much faster clear. So that's what you should do. Like I said, I use Arlecchino for my fastest clear and Xiangling for the 4-star only. Next, we have the worst enemy in the fucking game. The Shilonen boss. This enemy is awful. This is the only enemy, or the only boss of the 4 that I wasn't able to clear on the highest difficulty with a 4-star only team. The buff that it gives you is a crystallized buff. It's probably pretty good on Navia. I don't have Navia, so I didn't really test that out. But you should just play pretty much any single target focus team. With obviously Navia having an advantage. However, it is a cringe enemy. So, I want to very quickly show ways to make it easier. The way that this enemy works is he has a bar here that fills up when a nearby party member is in its Night Soul state. Once the bar is filled up, he will do a special attack. The best way of dealing with this enemy is to cheat to make it fill up his thing faster. What do I mean by cheat? Well, if you use Shalonen's E and then you pause, the timer doesn't tick down, but his Night Soul proximity bar thingy does tick up. As you can see, once I unpause, it's gone. It's already finished. Then he does a beam attack, like this, and then he spawns pillars that you are going to want to climb and break the thing on top. It's going to deal a bunch of % max health damage to him and reduce his resistances. Right, so my E here is hitting for 300 or 3.9k. If I wait until it gets up,
Let's light it up.
922 versus 2.6k it was on a non-crit. Whatever, you get the idea. His resistances go down significantly. I think at base he has 60% resistance, and when he's down he's back to 10. You don't necessarily need to make him do this, but it'll make things a lot easier if you don't have a lot of shred. You can trigger this effect with any other Night Soul character by using the same strategy. You can do it with Kachina. With Kachina, though, because of her skill cooldown, I like unpausing a little bit earlier. Because otherwise, her skill isn't back up by the time the pillars spawn. And you want her skill to be back up so you can climb. Fuck, I forgot to hold it. Whatever. I'm an idiot. But yeah, so you can do the same thing. Obviously, however, Kachina's a much weaker character than Shilonen is. It's a relatively straightforward enemy, but it really feels like ass to fight him without Shilonen. And by the way, the reason why you want Kachina or Shilonen to climb up the pillar is because other characters can't climb it. It's not a climbable surface. Technically, you can giddy up with I think the short female character model if you go at the right angle, but God, it's cringe. Yeah, so enemies that have vertical movement can also potentially take care of it, but they don't have Night Soul, so I guess Kanich probably can as well. And he does have Night Soul. But meh. Next, we have the turtle. The turtle is a very dangerous enemy. It hits you a lot, and it hurts a lot. After characters trigger Night Soul Burst 2 times, the damage dealt by the active character increases by 100%. My fastest team here has been, I believe, this team. The main reason why a team like this does so well is because the turtle's most dangerous moment is when it's shielded up. So, every time you hit the turtle, a meter that it has is going to start filling up. And it fills up based on the amount of hits, not the strength, not the damage, not the elemental application, just the amount of hits. Once it's filled up, the turtle is going to shield up and start shredding the fuck out of you. So, teams where you apply a lot of either cryo or pyro, making it easy to shred the electro shield quickly, as well as teams that have good ways of doing that while being in iframes, will generally be able to kill or to break the shield the fastest, and then it takes a little while after the shield is broken for it to start filling up the meter again. So, let me go it here.
Everybody stand back. Nice and spicy. Let the mountain's veins boil.
Right, so here, we filled up the meter, so he's gonna do the shield up attack. And as you can see, we take a lot of damage while he's shielded up. But that's why Xiangling does so well, because Xiangling helps a lot. And because she's an off-fielder, you don't have to stay on her. And you can just keep doing your damage. The turtle also has this spinny attack that's really annoying. But Xiangling also has a very nice way of dealing with that, because you can just stay at a distance while still getting all of your damage. And you can just keep on like this until the end. The 4-star only team I used was Sucrose National. Relatively similar reason. Obviously not being able to get Night Soul Burst means you can't take advantage of this, but this is an active character buff anyways. Finally, we got the bird. The Jade Plume Terror Shroom. The buff that you get is after characters use burst 5 times, the damage dealt by all party members' burst increases by 80%, and their ER increases by 50%. This can be a bit annoying because the value you get from the ER is going to depend the value you get on your ER is usually you get to build less ER because, you know, you get ER from here, so you can build more offensive stats. But if you do that, getting your second burst can be a pain in the ass because you're not going to have enough ER because this only activates after you've used burst 5 times. So it'll only activate starting on your second rotation. Working around that can be a bit of a pain in the ass, but if you do, then you get to build a bunch more damage, and obviously the burst damage is also quite useful. My fastest team here was a team that just didn't use this at all. My fastest team has been Arlecchino Melt, Arlecchino Bennett, Shilone, and Kea. Actually, it might have been Arlecchino ChesseBurgers. I'm not sure which one. Both of them were around the same amount, the same time. I'm not sure which one of them did the fastest. And the 4-star only team that I did was, again, Sucrose National. Sucrose National is the GOAT. Obviously, it's a team that benefits from these buffs quite a lot. So burst damage and ER, things that national teams tend to very much appreciate. But yeah, overall, this combat event, I think has pretty much the perfect balance. Outside of this enemy was a massive pain in the ass, and I wish he wasn't there. But outside of this enemy, they're all doable with like well-invested 4-star characters, but difficult enough that like even on a good account, you might not get it on your first clear. Obviously, if you've got like actual like 5-star weapons or stuff like that, they're gonna be a bit easier. But this to me is like a good example of an event that actually rewards you for vertical investment and like strong builds, without looking into dolphin stuff. I think events like this very much have a place in the game. Even if it's not necessarily like, wow. Even if it's not necessarily a great way to showcase how strong your builds are, I think events like this have a place in the game, just like things like the Vagabond event. I like that not every like more difficult combat event is at the same difficulty as Vagabond. I think that it's completely fine for there to be combat events that are aimed to showcase or to be like the final hurdle of a free-to-play player. Something like this. Whereas the Vagabond event tends to be more so a showcase of Dolphin investment. But yeah, this is like, if you're a free-to-play account who can clear this, you have a good account pretty much. And yeah, other than this one, which is almost a Shiloden check. Obviously it's doable with Kachina, but it's so much harsher. But yeah, other than this one, I think, yeah, pretty cool event. Pretty cool event for sure. So I've quite enjoyed it. Rewards wise, I mean, I don't really care about the rewards. It's more so about the getting the maximum amount of stars for me. But I'm very happy with events like this. I hope they keep doing more of them. And I am looking forward to see what else we're gonna get. If you manage to clear this with a 4-star only team, let me know in the comments. Let me know which team you use. And even if you didn't, if you had any other teams that you thought performed particularly well against one of these bosses and you want to talk about it, make sure you let me know in the comments. As usual, I hope you learned a thing or two from this video. If you're struggling with it, again, right, for the Kenkies, I would generally recommend Burgeon and Bloom teams. For whatever these things are, I would recommend the teams that have a lot of app, like National or Kanich. Or not of app, but of elemental hits. For the Yumkasor, generally pretty much any vape team is going to do well. You absolutely need to make sure you can apply Pyro to the thingies. It's going to make a big difference. For this thing, anything with Shilonen. For this, Shangling is just insane for him. Even if you don't use a Shangling carry team, Shangling in an Arlecchino team or something like that is going to be great. And then for this, you can kind of just do whatever. I think the default option for most people is probably going to be Raiden National. Completely fine option. But yeah, I hope you learned a thing or two. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, YouTube. Alright, let me tell the editors. Recorded a video on combat event. Okay, is there anything else I want to do today? I don't really want to do exploration. We'll do exploration another day. We did a lot of exploration yesterday. You know, we went up by like 20%. What's your exploration progress? I'm at 69 right now. What do we do, chat? I think that's just gonna be it for the day. I've seen the Chazka video. From what I see in the community, there are a lot of people saying that this character is very bad. Is it just to justify skipping her? Does she really perform much worse than usual in the game? Chazka, like, just damage-wise, Chazka's relatively good, but she's incredibly reliant on her specific good teams, and she's awful in AoE. So, she's the sort of unit where, like, you can definitely make her work, but if you want to use her all the time as one of your main 2 carries, you're gonna feel that it's not gonna be pleasant. Damn, bro, aren't you too old for Genshin? I don't know, man. It's a wild guess, but you look over 35, maybe 40. So, like, are you just a fucking asshole or what? How about you just fucking go give a big smooch to a moving train at high speed? Make an appointment with your toaster where the date destination is your bath. Fucking... Like, Jesus Christ. Play a game of League of Legends and do every single thing that people tell you to do. Anyways, what a horrible note to end stream on, but I'm gonna end stream. I don't really want to raid anyone. I am going to see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye!